I got to tell you, I absolutely love days like today when, after years and years of all this suppression of free speech, our freedom of speech suppressed, the tide is finally starting to turn. And yet again, we've got another great story out today, courtesy of Sky News Australia. So let me share this one with you. It is, here we go, let's get this open. E-safety boss, E-safety, how ironic, Julie Inman Grant fails to respond after a call to testify before the US Congress for a direct threat to free speech. This is absolutely brilliant. I am really happy with this one today. Let me go through this story then. So the E-safety commissioner has basically failed to respond. The US has called upon her and she's basically failed to respond. Now, another reason this is really interesting is because you would think she's a really intelligent woman, right? Having this position. Well, and just ignoring this summons. She's just ignoring it. The US has issued this summons and she's just ignoring it. Well, the lady has a second passport for the USA. One thing I would probably never do. But anyway, especially if I was in her position, doing what she is doing. And she's always, of course, proud of the suppression of free speech. But the irony of this is I don't think she's thought this through. They are obviously going to do something. I mean, they could extradite her or whatever. I don't know if she needs to be a criminal at that point, but we'll see. But let me go through this story. So this is all because of the direct threat to American citizens. Earlier this week then, it was revealed that the e-safety boss had been sent a signed letter by Republican congressmen calling on her to testify before Congress, and this is all about the demands that she put in with the pact to try and censor X, or posts on X. The letter requests Ms. Grant to give testimony before the committee by December the 2nd. And it says that even though she's been sent these letters and requests, she's just ignoring all of them. While the request is for she's US born, to voluntarily appear at this stage, we understand there could be moves to legally compel her should she continue to decline or ignore the US letters on this. So this was US House of Representatives Committee on the Judiciary, and this is Chairman Jim Jordan. He's the one that finally signed off the letter, and he said the US would welcome her back and wanted to hear her side of the story. Mr. Jordan, a close ally of Trump, told Marcus the e-safety commissioner had recently visited the US, and they obviously kind of kept some tabs on her there because they knew exactly what she was doing, meeting with her, as they quote, liberal friends, plotting, as it were, they're saying here. I'll tell you some of the snippets here. She was just here not too long ago, meeting out in Stanford with a bunch of other people who we also found in our investigation were involved in censorship that was undertaken by the previous Biden administration. Big government working with big tech and big academia to censor American speech. And remember, we also covered last week how there was that big, what can we even call it? All of those different, as they're saying, big tech and academia, and all of these people created this super pact in a way. And they were just running all the media because they were owned and controlled over 90% of the media. So we've got that context for this. Mr. Jones said the US committee wanted to talk to the e-safety boss for trying to impose Australia's rules on the US in a global takedown of content. The letter cited her court bid last year for the removal of footage from X. So this was actually a court bid that she'd done. Elon Musk labeled the injunction global censorship as his company refused to honor the court ruling. Mr. Jones said the US took the First Amendment pretty darn seriously and censorship threats from a foreign country were to be addressed. We thought we'd invite her back to talk to our committee, particularly in light of the situation where she wanted a global takedown of bad content. I understand, but she wanted to impose Australia's rules on the United States. We have a First Amendment and we take it seriously, so we're opposed to any global takedown order from a foreign country. He said he was very concerned about the trend of censorship that's spreading throughout Western countries. I think we all are. We see it in the EU with their Digital Services Act, the Online Safety Act, and the UK and others. He said, thank God we have a First Amendment, because a lot of other countries, we don't. He said that the US is very nervous about the impact on American businesses as well as a result of the fines that they are trying to put onto them if they don't go along with these requests. He said it's huge amounts of money, so it's almost like either follow our rules or apply them globally, or there could be a shakedown coming, he said. What we don't want is a censorship regime basically spreading around the world, because it starts as protecting children, as it were, which ironically enough, I think the Australian Act comes in any day now, the Act to Protect Children. Of course, we've got the EU Act, that's also to protect children, and the UK Act is also to protect children, even though that's just the cover story, of course, as we know. The letter summoning the e-safety commissioner to the US also accused her of having colluded with pro-censorship entities in the United States to facilitate Australia's global censorship regime and others, global censorship regime. So, wow, this is pretty wild, I would say. Drop your comments on this, Neil. Someone said, give Neil a like, folks. Thank you. I appreciate that. I can use all the likes I can at the minute. We're in that lull season at the minute. I don't know if you know this, but in November, around this period, the views, people aren't on social media as much. I don't know why. It's the same every year. So thank you. Share the video, do whatever. I appreciate that. Now, the next one I wanted to show you then was, we've got some really interesting articles today. Here we go. UK retail sales, so we're swapping now, we're going over to the UK, drop unexpectedly as shoppers await Black Friday and the budget. Well, don't forget, on Monday, we launched a Black Friday offer here on the channel. It's the biggest offer, the biggest savings ever that I've ever done, and all courses include full certification as well. So it's going to be a huge, huge offer. But let me tell you something that I found really interesting today. So if you have Google News as your if you use this, I want you to go in and type shoplifter, okay? Just type in shoplifter, and I want you to see something I stumbled upon today, which I was absolutely astounded by. So let me go through and tell me if you notice the pattern of every single one of these UK shoplifters, okay? What is the pattern that you are noticing? Hold on. Where are they all? Here they all come. What is the pattern you're noticing with all of these shoplifters? And what is the pattern for the ones that aren't that category? They all have their face blurred. I just couldn't believe when I saw this. It goes on, by the way, this goes on and on. I went to about 3 or 4 pages and I found one person who didn't fit this category. What is all the media showing that all the shoplifters are? What? Go on, drop it in the comments, please. I'm laughing as I'm going through. What do you notice? Every single one of these shoplifters apparently is what? I'm not joking. This goes on. I went over pages of it before I just gave up. I thought, yes, I found one that isn't this category, and the face was blurred, so all I could see was the hands, which identified it. But I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't. Anyway, we'll stop there because it just goes on forever. This was something that came up today, and I thought, finally, we're having this investigation, and they're going to talk about the elephant in the room eventually. The safety of you know what. We still can't even say it on YouTube, believe it or not. I thought, finally, here's the headline, 23,000. Right, here we go, 23,000 deaths I can't believe it. It's finally come out. I've been waiting for this day for years. No. What did they do? This is an absolute smokescreen. They say that these 23,000 deaths that occurred now were due to not doing a lockdown early enough. So they said we should have locked down a week earlier and all these people would still be alive. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And so this is this massive investigation. It's gone on for years. I don't know if you've read it. There is no mention that I could see. If you can see it, please let me know which page it was on. I could not see any mention of the vax anywhere. Not in any of it. It was all about Boris and Matt Hancock and how we didn't lock down early enough and all the things that we can learn and all this. It was bizarre, ladies and gents. And it just shows you that we live in it really is like 1984 or some of these other books that we've seen, this dystopian weird thing where there's just no logical common sense around any of it. It's like, surely that would be the most obvious thing to investigate. Surely, but no, it's not even in there. And it shows you the world we live in now. It's absolutely bizarre. If you are in the UK, stay safe out there. Hopefully you've got your wood burner going. I hope you've got a wood burner. I saw these articles this week about wood burners and how they want to start looking to place a ban on wood burners. And I just thought, here we go again. They want to do this big ban on wood burners all over again. And they came up with this reason that it's stopping us from hitting net zero targets and all this other nonsense. And then they said, oh, well, you know, maybe the metal could be dangerous. If it gets too hot, it might release these things. And it's like, give me a break, please. They just want to get rid of it. But I did check on I did message my caretaker back home and I said, hey, can you check on the chickens today? Because a lot of my chickens, they won't sleep in the coop. I know it's the most bizarre thing, but they just want to sleep in a tree. And it's like, I saw all the footage of the castle and it's like snow and it's like the tree is like frozen. I thought, oh my goodness, these youngsters chickens, hope they made it. But you'll be pleased to hear, for those of you who follow the walk and talks on Fridays and stuff when I'm on the Isle of Man, the chickens all made it. They're all fine. What else did I want to show you? What was the last thing I wanted to talk about? Oh yeah, gosh, this is a big one. Markets are absolutely getting hammered at the minute. I really hope that you followed what I said a long time ago now, and I said we are nearing the end of this bull market in crypto, because look at it. It is getting hammered now. 10%. Bitcoin 9.5% down today. Ethereum 10% down. XRP 10% down. BNB 9.5%. I mean, this is a bloodbath in the market. All the markets in general, actually. It is an absolute chaos now. It really is. So just a short stream today. I'm going to go and write the newsletter, or finish writing the newsletter now. Probably take me another hour or so. Hopefully you get the newsletter. If not, the link is below, so you can just put your email in and I'll send you the newsletter every Friday with the tens of thousands of other people that read it every Friday. Someone actually told me that I have one of the highest click-through or open rates of any newsletter on the platform I used the other day. We did a call with someone from the company. And they were like, how on earth do you have one of the highest open rates when you've got a huge email list? Like, that's not normal. Usually that's for people with tiny lists of hundreds or thousands. And I said, honestly, I don't know. Maybe it's my title. Is it a clickbait title? I don't know. But it says your important news of the week or whatever. But I honestly don't know. Maybe it's just a really good newsletter and people like it. Apart from that, I will see you on Monday now then for it's going to be a busy week next week. A lot of videos next week because it's the Black Friday week. And I always pump out lots of really good videos on Black Friday week. For obvious reasons. I think you know the obvious reason. So the sale starts on Monday, runs through to Friday or Saturday. And yeah, it's going to be a good week. All right, take care. God bless you all. God bless your families. I'll see you on the next one.